Hello, everyone, and welcome to SpeakUp podcast. This is the place where everyday women and men have an opportunity to share their stories in order to inspire you to share yours. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine, and tonight we've got another amazing one-on-one with Angel segment. I've got the beautiful Chrystal Castillo in the place to be with me tonight. And we're going to be talking about getting over a thing, getting beyond a thing, and getting to the other side, right? So you all may be wondering, getting to the other side of what? Well, Chrystal's going to share a little bit about her testimony of weight loss and her journey to wellness here on SpeakUp podcast tonight with one-on-one with Angel. So welcome, Chrystal, to SpeakUp podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here on the show. So thank you for having me.
You are so very welcome. I've been watching you in the social media spaces here and there. I see your fitness journey. You got your hubby, you got your kids, and you just look like you have a fun-filled, healthy life. But I also noticed that it wasn't maybe all that fun-filled and healthy at one point.
That's correct. For starters, about 2 years ago, I had some health issues come up, and it was weird for me because growing up, I was into sports. I was always healthy. I ate healthy. I did all this stuff. And so a couple of years ago, when these health issues came up, I was like, health issues? Mm-hmm. I also put them on the back burner. You know, as a mom, we put ourselves on the back burner. So I would ignore it, like, oh, maybe it's just, I need to take some Tums. And you just keep going. You keep going. You know how that is, because you just got to keep going because you got these little boys running all over the place and your life doesn't stop. You can't just stop and take care of the issue. But 2 years ago, I had to pause because it got so bad that I had to go to the ER. But before I went to the ER, I was thinking, how will my kids get to school? This and that, all the stuff that the mommy goes through. And it was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to go to the ER. This is getting bad.
Were you in a lot of pain? What type of pain were you having?
I was having stomach pain. I was throwing up all over the place. It felt like somebody kicked me in my stomach.
Wow.
And it was bad. It was really bad. And I had never experienced it. Honestly, I would say I would prefer to have another child over the pain that I felt.
Wow.
It was that bad.
But here's something that I think is really interesting about women. And I'm even going to jump out there and say Black women. We take so much pain until by the time we get to a doctor, they're like, oh, let's go 1 to 10. Where's your pain level? We're like 10. And they're looking at you like, there's no way you're at a 10 because you would have been here prior to this, or how are you walking, or how are you talking? And it's something about it's something about women, especially women of color. We will put ourselves off and just live with pain as if it's normal, and until it's just unbearable. And then we show up and the people take the test and run the test and they're like, how are you even standing? Right? Did you find yourself in that place where the doctors are like, hold up?
Yep. Actually, when they found the issue, it was my gallbladder, and they were like, we don't understand how you're making it because this gallbladder looks like it's been dead for 2 years.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. And I was like, I just kept taking Tums, kept pushing, and it's just like, I got to take care of these kids. My husband works a job. I'm at home. I I got to take care of this kids. I got to do this. I got to do that. And we just put so much on our backs.
Yes.
When I went to my husband, he was just like, I could take off work. Like, why are you tripping?
Why don't you ask? Why didn't you tell me you were in this kind of pain? Like, it's almost like you don't want to burden other people. Babe, you already do so much and yada, yada, yada. And I got this, right? Mm-hmm. So was your gallbladder issue something hereditary, genetic? Was it eating habits or something of that nature that kind of got your stomach out of whack?
To this day, I really don't know. I believe it was just, it was probably my eating habits, honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was eating McDonald's maybe 2 or 3 times a day, just chugging down stuff. And it was just like, after a while, your body catches up to all of that. And it's like, okay, you can't do like that no more. You're not 4 years old. You can't be doing the Happy Meals every chicken nuggets and all this processed foods. You know, you gotta eat grown-up food. You gotta go home and make you some vegetables and you know, do the stuff. So
ain't no spring chicken no more. You need real food.
Real food and real food in a healthy way, because you know, like when you get older, the food just sits there and it's just like, and I'm not moving. So it's like, it's just going to sit there. So you up here eating McDonald's, French fries, all of that. And it's like, then you go watch a movie, you go to sleep, and it's like, it just sits there. Right. And it catches up with you. You're not 17 no more. Like you can't just work that off, you know? So
you really can't. I don't know why we think we can. So prior to getting into this place where you got this excruciating pain and you find yourself at the ER, what was your mental like before you get to the other side of the pain, the weight loss and all of that? What was it like to be you every day in terms of your personality, in terms of were you a happy, kind mom? Were you pleasant to your husband? Like, did things sort of shift later?
I would say before I started the journey, I had low self-esteem. I didn't like the way I looked. We would go to church and everything, and I would go buy me a nice dress or something, and my husband's like, "Why don't you put that on?" I don't look good in it. Like I don't like the way I look. And to be honest with you, I didn't love myself.
Gotcha.
I didn't love myself, which is a place where a lot of people are. They just don't love themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And so, the self-esteem, I had self-esteem issues, didn't love myself, didn't accept myself for where I was, really dependent on my husband to give me the compliments. Because, you know, we fetch for those compliments. Yes. We're like, you better say I'm cute.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I got my hair done. Like, you better say it was done. Like, something. You know, like, you better notice me. And it's like, you know, after a while, it's like he may or may not say something, and I have to stand on my own and know that I'm beautiful without his comments, you know?
Right.
And so I just got to the place where I was just fed up. I said I had to do something about this.
Did the weight come on after marriage, after children, afterwards? Because I think I remember seeing your wedding pictures. You look fabulous to me. I mean, you look fabulous in all your pictures, but I noticed you were significantly slimmer. But then I see now you got these babies, right? So you see that there's weight gain. Did the weight come on? Did the self-esteem issues come with the weight, or did you have those issues prior to the weight and it just exacerbated once you had the weight?
I think it came with the weight. After I had kids, one of my sons, we found out that he was autistic, and I blamed myself for it for the longest, which is where the eating habits started coming into, play. Like, we're very hard on ourselves as mothers, and we blame ourselves for a lot of it. And it's like, if they don't excel in school, if they don't do this, we put it on ourselves. And I was doing that a lot, and just found myself eating and eating and eating just to get through the day.
Right. I think that's why we get those Mother's Day gifts. You know, I do.
Yeah, more than
bit of an inside joke, guys, but
yeah, we need more than service dogs for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay. Listen, so those of you who are watching us, I am talking to Chrystal Castillo. She is a personal fitness trainer, and she's on here with me tonight doing this one-on-one with Angel to talk about her journey to health and wellness and what life is like on the other side. But before we get to the other side, I wanted you all to kind of get an understanding of what life was like prior, right? And a lot of times as women and as mothers, we find ourselves in spaces where we fall out of love with ourselves, and we're starting to depend on other people, and we're taking on stuff that doesn't belong to us. And I don't think we realize that our bodies hold the trauma. Our bodies hold on to the thoughts and the feelings and all those things. And sometimes it can manifest into physical issues, right? So, Chrystal, I asked you, like, was this genetic? You're like, I don't really know. I think sometimes all of that stuff will present itself in our bodies, and our bodies some kind of way will say, I'm not taking it. Maybe for you, maybe it's a gallbladder, right? For somebody else, maybe it's a heart condition. For somebody else, they breaking out their skin. Some people lose their edges, you know. But I think our body at some point says, no, ma'am, you're going to have to deal with this,
Definitely.
right? So you find yourself at the ER and you got a gallbladder situation. So did you have to have it removed?
Yes, ma'am. I had to have it removed. It was gangrene, like they were saying. It was.
Your gallbladder was gangrene?
For 2 years, he said. It looked like it was gangrene for 2 years. He was like, I don't even know how you're living. And I was like, I don't know either. I just keep pushing through. I just kept pushing through. Like I said, pushing the Tums, eating them like it was Skittles. Because I thought it was
sepsis in your blood or like that did.
I just ignored everything. I would tell my husband my stomach hurts, and he'd be like, go to the doctor. Like, I would look up home remedies. You know how we do it. You know, like
Google Academy.
Google Academy. Okay, it's not this, it's not that, it's this. Okay, I just need some apple cider vinegar.
That fixes everything.
That fixes. Or I can put some Vicks on my belly. You know, just all these little things that we come up with, and it's like, no, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But. So tell us about that next phase, because I believe even after you had the gallbladder removed, there's still a bit of a journey, right? It didn't just fix itself overnight just because you got the gallbladder removed. So what happened after that?
A couple of months later, I ended up back in the hospital. I had blockage in my bowel ducts because I guess when you have the gallbladder removed, it's not able to filter fats and oils and, you know, the different stuff you would eat, because that gallbladder is there to filter all of that out. And because the filter is not there, sometimes it can get stuck in the ducts, the bowel ducts. And so that causes problems with your digestive tract and so forth. So I ended up having to go back, and they ended up having to remove stuff from the ducts. And what happened was my liver and my kidney levels were so high, it was like toxic, you know, very toxic. So they ended up having to admit me back into the hospital. I had to have a procedure. I'm like, where is this coming from? Again, I was healthy. And now all of this. And like you said, it could be trauma. It could just be trauma, years and years of trauma, years and years of carrying things that you don't know that you're carrying. And it reflects in a health issue or a condition, you know?
Right. Whew, that's a lot. And during this time, your husband is taking care of the kids and doing those things while you're trying to get yourself healthy. So what types of things did you have to start doing, or did you think I need to do something different, or like where did the switch happen? When did the light bulb go off in your head that I need a total life makeover?
I think January of the following year, after I got out the hospital, I told my husband, I was like, okay, I've been trying everything. I didn't go vegan. Mm-hmm. I did vegetarian. I did all these little plans for maybe like a week or something, but I tried it, trying it, but nothing is working. Like I'm still not losing weight. I'm still not where I'm at. So to continue to do something and it's not working, it's called insanity, right? Like to continue to do things over and over again, you're not going anywhere. It's insanity. So I was like, I have to hire me a personal trainer.
Okay.
I have to do this. I have to find somebody who's going to be on my behind and discipline me and make sure that I'm doing what I need to do, because I've already tried everything on my own and it's not working.
Right.
And so I'm tired of this. I'm ready to get out of this. I'm ready to stop saying, I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year and end up gaining the 50 pounds instead of losing it.
Right.
Because we have those New Year's resolutions that we like to say. And it's like, by the end of the year, we're like 50 to 100 pounds more than what we wanted to be.
And we resolved to not lose weight.
And like the analogy that I got the other day is I've been having this tire pressure light in my car, and I would go everywhere to try to get air in the tires, and I would put air in the tires and everything would go fine. The light would go off, but then after a while, the light would come back on to the point I got tired and I just learned to drive with the light on. So sometimes we just settle, like, forget this. We just settle for the symptoms. Nothing is working. I've tried this. I've tried that. And it just keeps coming back. Right. So I'm just going to settle for it. I'm just going to drive with it, even though it's an indicator that something is wrong.
Right. That's a good analogy.
Right. So,
and we drive until literally the wheels fall off.
Yep.
Literally. So you got a trainer, and did the trainer help with the mental component, with the self-esteem component? Like, how did that, because it seemed like, okay, I'm having some self-esteem issues, some things like that sort of led to some other things. Did just losing weight fix that for you, or? No,
it did not. The first couple of months, I was actually mad at my trainer, to be honest. And if she's listening to you, I was mad, to be honest, and I never told you. I'm sorry. But I was mad because I didn't get the results that I wanted, but I realized it wasn't her fault. She was giving me the tools, but I didn't have the mindset to apply those tools. And so, like, we think, oh, go eat healthy, go do this, but it's more than that. It's a mental, emotional thing that's involved. We have to attack those habits. We have to attack those things. Kind of like a person who's trying to quit smoking. They can't just go cold turkey. It's like, it's a slow process. There's different things they have to tackle in order to overcome those things. Right. You know what I mean? And so, like, I was upset with her, but then I realized, you know what? It's not nothing but my fault. I'm the one that's sneaking the gummy bears and stuff still in my car and all of this. I'm the one that's doing that. That's not on her. That's on me.
Yes. Yes. That accountability to self component is a hard one to do. And it drives me insane when people say, well, it's just, all you got to do is it's simple math. Eat less calorie, what do they say? Less calories in, more burn, or whatever. It's so simple. And my thing is, if it were that simple,
everybody would be doing it.
You'd all just be doing it. So clearly it can't just be about calories in, calories out. There's something that's not, that's not working properly. And I remember a time when I will work out like a fool. Okay. I have no issues working out. I love to work out. And I was still fat, just fit and fat, just fitty fat. I don't know. We're going to create some words tonight, And it's like, don't tell me that that's all I have to do. And not only that, I'm starving myself too. So, and I won't say starving, but I'm not eating the things that I really enjoy. I'm eating what you tell me to eat. I'm doing all these things, and I still don't look like what you say I should look like. And I don't think we realize that even when it comes to the way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself, your body is having reactions to those things. You're releasing all sorts of hormones and all sorts of things are happening. So you could be doing all the right things and your body still is going, nope.
Yep.
I'm not budging, because your mind is still in the wrong place and you're releasing, and there's a chemistry happening that won't resolve until you change the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the hard part.
Yep.
For me anyway.
It's the habits. It's the habits. It's the habits. It's not, oh, you need a good workout. That's not the issue. It's not the, oh, you need a good meal plan. It's the habits. Yeah. The old habits have to die and new habits have to come alive. Mm-hmm. And the thing is I feel like people try to do too much at one time and they give up too easily. It's like, don't go cold turkey. If you know you've been eating Twizzlers and bacon, don't try to like give that up all in 1 week. Like, I'm not gonna eat that no more, because you're gonna sneak a pack. You're gonna sneak some stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, take one thing every month, take one thing at a time, and do it, like work on it one habit at a time.
Right.
And then you would find a better results that way, because you're tackling it and not just trying to like suppress it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's suppressing it, but it's not addressing it. We got to address the things, not suppress them.
Yeah. And not punish ourselves. I know oh goodness, the restriction, I will restrict myself. It's almost like you gotta deserve to eat, or you don't deserve to eat, or whatever the thought process is about food, that unhealthy relationship that we have with food, which really isn't with food, it's with ourselves. And we just use food to deal with it. So, all right. So you said the trainer wasn't the end all be all for you. What got your head right then? I began attacking and addressing issues. And so like whenever I felt a certain way, I went to my journal and I began to write. Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like I want a box of Oreos right now? Right.
What is going through my mind right now? Why am I doing this? And so tracking not only the food that I was intaking, but tracking the emotions that go along with the food.
Right.
Because there's a pattern that is involved, and you could trace those patterns, and it could go back. Oh, I talked to my mom today and she said something ugly to me. So the way I feel better about myself is to go get some ice cream or whatever it is. And so it's like, we're bound to these things until we address them, until we speak to those things. And the only way we can speak to them is by journaling and tracing those things, because we don't think about it. We just think we're stuffing our face with ice cream, but there's a connection there. Right. There's a connection there. So
did you know that's what you were doing when you started journaling, or when you just started journaling and then you realized what you were writing? How did that work for you? Was it, I'm a journal to deal, or I'm journaling and now I realize I'm dealing?
I'm journaling and I'm realizing I'm dealing, gotcha. And it helped a lot, because I can look back in that journal and I could say, oh, on Monday, I got a call from my son's teacher, and it made me feel like I failed as a mom. So I went to the store and bought my honey bun or whatever it was. And instead of like really addressing the issue is I felt like I was failure as a mom. But the truth is I didn't fail as a mom. It's not a reflection on my parenthood. It was just a crazy day for my son, but I put that on me. And the way I dealt with that was through food, but that didn't change anything. Food doesn't change anything, because that issue was still there. What needed to be changed is an affirmation for myself as a mom.
Yes, that is so good. That is so good. I don't think people realize that folks who have unhealthy relationships with food, or who are addicted to eating, because you can be, and all those sorts of things, that it doesn't change a thing, but you feel differently. And I can tell you as an emotional eater, because I ain't even gonna say I'm over it. I'm just gonna say, we're working through it. But but you literally, the same way people feel, you take a drink, you go, oh, I feel better. Your problems are still there, but somehow the drink alters you in some way where you think you feel better, or you puff on a cigarette, or that happens with food. And I don't think people understand, like, why don't you just stop eating? Because you're physically getting something from it. And I know there have been times where I may have been stressed, and I'm just like, your brain will tell you the type of food you want. And it's some type of comforting. And when you eat it, I would literally be like, I feel better. Like I feel better, until you look in the mirror and you're like, but you're fatter too. Like you feel better, but you're fatter. Like, and now you've got that guilt, shame, self-condemnation, guilt, shame. There's just this back and forth thing, right? It's a vicious. So now I'm going to punish myself. I'm going to like not eat and whatever. I'm going to beat myself up in the gym and whatever. And then I'm just going to go eat again. It's a terrible, terrible cycle, right? So journaling for you helped get you past that in the mental capacity. Did you work with a mindset coach or something of that nature? Or did you sort of work through it yourself?
Originally I was working through it myself, but I did decide to seek counseling after a while, because there were some issues that I couldn't address within myself that I need to really talk through. So I still go to counseling to this day after over a year of doing it. I think counseling is good to sit and talk to somebody about stuff, because it is a mental thing that you have to process as you're trying to lose that weight.
Most definitely. So now you're on the other side, and tell us, what is it that you're choosing to do now that your self-esteem is stronger? You look fabulous. I've already told everyone you're a fitness trainer. So tell me, what is it that you do now, and how do you help people or help women now that you're on the other side? What I like to do is I like to look at the whole person. So like when a person comes to me for training, it's not just, let me give you a bunch of workouts and a good meal plan, but I like to look at the whole person. Like, what are your triggers? Let's talk through those things. Let's find some affirmations. So like, I do weekly affirmations for my clients. I will succeed this week, or I will overcome, or whatever they're battling with. I try to find the opposite so that they can be affirmed in those things. Right. And we look at the different habits. Oh, so I like potato chips, or I like this, and we tackle it together. And I like to check in on them weekly and making sure that, hey, how are you doing? It's not just about looking good, but it's about feeling good.
not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I look at all the aspects of it. So I think sometimes, most trainers, they're just after, oh, are you going to show up for your workouts, or are you doing your meal plan? But it's so much deeper than that. It's right. How are you doing mentally? How have you changed over the 4 weeks, not just in your weight, but in your mindset, And so that's what I like to do. And I don't just if somebody comes with the issue, I don't just be like, well, you got this, but I really try to see what their barriers are and see ways around those barriers. I had a client the other day, I just want to eat. Well, why do you want to go eat? What's going on with you? Tell me, do we need to, hook you up with a counselor? Tell me, what's going on? And I try to find some solutions. I told her, I was like, well, you have 2 options. You can go eat, or you can go burn. You could go release it. Right. And so if you go eat, you're still carrying it. If you go burn it, you release it. Right. There you go. And so she went to the gym, and she went to do some cardio and burned it. So that's what's up. So yeah, I like to find solutions for people as much as I can. Now, I'm not a counselor or any of that, so I definitely refer people. Right. That's a whole nother profession, but I like to look at all aspects because I care about the whole person, not just the physical body. Excellent. Well, Chrystal, believe it or not, we are way out of time. But this has been a really good conversation. I'm hoping that women who are watching, maybe they heard something that resonated with them, that connected with them, and maybe they'll start journaling, or maybe they'll reach out to you and possibly work with you. So if you will, please leave the people with your contact information. How can they find you if they want to work with you? I'm on Instagram, and it is I am Chrys Castillo, I am Chrys Castillo. So the first part of my name, Chrys, and my last name, I am Chrys Castillo. That's my Instagram and my Facebook, both of them. And then the website is www.team312training.com. Excellent. Well, thank you, Chrystal, so much for coming to Speak Up Sis podcast tonight, sharing yourself, your story. I know someone is going to listen and be inspired in their own lives because you made it to the other side. So thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Speak Up Sis podcast. You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Speak Up Sis podcast tonight. You can find us here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to connect with us, you can visit Speak Up Sis podcast on Instagram as well as Facebook. Please subscribe to our website, speakupsis.com. All things Speak Up Sis you can find there. And last but not least, everyone, starting Wednesday of this week, September 1st, we will begin a Woman series. And every single day in the month of September, you will hear the voice of a different woman sharing her story to inspire your story. So please make sure you're tuning in to Speak Up Sis podcast, September 1st through the 30th for Everyday Woman series. You all have a wonderful evening. Until next time, make sure you open up your mouth and speak up. Good night.